Welcome to this online demonstration of Griot, the online project management and business management tool. We believe that if you know your business, you can grow your business. This is the demonstration site. If you come to demo.griot.us, you will come in and be able to log in using demo as the username and demo as the password. The key elements of Griot are to use the information that you capture every single day and use them to help manage your business. Griot is perfect for project-based business which manages its staff on an hourly rate basis. Griot has been built for government contracting on GSA schedules and firm fixed price contracting, as well as other businesses that provide services to their customers. On the home page of Griot, you can see several different elements of the dashboard. Under Administration, you can see the upcoming invoices, so you can quickly see, hang on, I'm 24 days overdue in invoicing Acme support. Maybe I need to go back and double check with my project manager and find out what's going on. On the other hand, 6 days away is my web project. That seems to be on track, hopefully, and I can go back to them and make sure that those invoices are going to go out on time. I can see the next 15 days, next 30 days are all upcoming invoices, and I can actually export all of these to Excel so I can manipulate these as necessary. The next screen you see is under expected payments. That'll help you with your cash flow. And look to see, hang on, we've got some overdue invoices. These also connect up to QuickBooks, which can be integrated into Griot for invoicing management. And this is a great way to help those in your company who do not have access to QuickBooks to be able to see what's happening with overdue invoices, as well as help you manage your cash flow. It'll also show you all of your expenses that you've submitted and see what's going on in terms of being reimbursed for them. Hang on, I've had some of this stuff submitted a long time ago and no one's bothered to pay me back. Maybe I better go talk to my finance management team. On the other side of the screen, you can see information on projects, as well as the assignments that you, the individual, are assigned to. So you can see what you're expected to work as well as what you're actually working to date. The key to Griot is the project. Each project has basic information in it, such as name, any kind of special code, start and end date, as well as labor category. I'll go into the edit screens to show a little more detail. The labor category is very useful if you want to capture through Griot all of the labor that your projects and your company are expending. Direct labor for billable work, fringe, for example, personal time off, vacation, etc., overhead, and G&A, as well as miscellaneous, such as leave without pay or some things that are considered to be unallowable costs for government contracting. This makes, by adding projects for every single type of activity in your company, it makes it very, very easy to be able to calculate what your overhead rates are versus your direct labor rates, if that is something that's useful to you. It can be very helpful to find out what the true cost of doing business is in terms of your labor. You have a description of your project, as well as information on your project budget. Which rate book should you use? It also has a place where you can put in the total value and your other direct costs that you're planning on getting reimbursed for versus that are just going to be added to the overhead of your project. The name of the client, payment terms, billing information, and this is to help you generate invoices. You then track your budget based on level of effort and rates. So Demonstration has 300 hours and he's expected to work those hours from January 1st, 2013 until December 31st, 2014. The level that he is the level that he is being charged out at is Analyst Level 3. We'll update the assignment since the other one was no longer available. And you can see from that it actually shows you what the estimated cost of the project is, as well as the cost to date based on what you're charging these folks out at now in your rate. This makes it very easy to track both on a time and materials and a firm fixed price basis how you're doing relative to how many hours you're already expending. You can also track your expenses as direct cost, project overhead, or overhead, again, to make sure that you're understanding what the cost of doing business is, as well as being able to get reimbursed for any direct costs to your clients. Under account management, this is where you would put in every single invoice that you are planning on sending out and approximate dates of when you're going to be sending those out. We find that this is an incredibly important tool for managing the project management aspect of it, especially for projects where payments are actually triggered by a deliverable. Oftentimes, cash flow is affected when delivery dates are pushed off due to unforeseen delays, and it's very hard sometimes to understand what those impacts are if you're not directly linking the payments to the project deliveries. So by having all of the intended invoices in Griot, it makes it much easier to really link those two together and put some pressure on the project managers to make sure they're delivering on time. Through this, you can also generate invoices, and if you've hooked up this to QuickBooks, you can actually send the invoice directly to QuickBooks. This allows you to put in the invoice number. If you want to add an adjustment, perhaps a discount or some other element. And since this is a time and materials project, we're putting in the number of actual hours that are being billed, and this is the amount that's going to be billed to the client. For firm fixed price projects, you might have that as a more flexible number. These notes can all be edited, and you can also add activity descriptions and detailed activity breakdowns, again, depending on your client. When you get paid, you can receive a payment, which then allows you to write in what check number was, how much was received, and then notes in there. And again, this gets integrated into QuickBooks, and an email can go out to the project manager and anyone else you wish saying these payments were received. It makes it a lot easier to connect the project management side to the financial management side without a lot of overhead. We also have an account triggers page where you can actually put in a trigger to say the client wants to know when we're at 80% expended, and an email automatically goes out to whomever you wish. For example, you can have it go out to the project managers, administrator, managers, financial manager, or your accountant, so that you know where you're doing on a particular project. Finally, the profitability analysis is very useful if you put in what your internal rates are versus what your billable rates are. And then you can see how much profit you're expecting, what percentage you're expecting in a particular project versus what you actually have, what your actual profit margin is versus what you actually have. This is very useful also if you're judging your project managers based on what their profitability percentages are, so that you can actually compare between different projects. In terms of managing a project as it's going along, we have a very important tool called the burn rate analysis, which also allows us to see all the different hours and then track out what hours are going to be spent in the next few months. And that way you can actually see how much money is being spent and how much money and if you're going to be over budget or under budget by the end of it. It's a very often project where you originally planned on having one person spend, say, 300 hours, and then they're no longer available, or suddenly you realize that you need somebody more junior or more senior to take their place. And so this helps your project managers do very quick assessments of how they can reallocate resources without going over budget. The activity report allows them to also look very quickly on a month-by-month basis, or any particular filter, to really see what's been going on with your project and how you're doing. It makes this very useful if someone wants to get reports from you on how many hours you've spent and their fiscal year doesn't match yours, or they want it for a very specific quarter. We also have a time card view so that project managers can come in and look per project at time cards without having to look across an entire individual's time card. Activity breakdown allows us to see what the individual actually did during those hours that they put into their time card. Since in your time card system you can actually put in the number of hours. When you put in the number of hours, it allows you to put in a note. Finally, activity description is a place where you can add a description that gets added to the invoice. Finally, we have tools such as tasks, calendar, and events that you can tie to your project as you wish. We also have the ability to do project groups, so that if you would like to combine a series of contracts, perhaps across different clients or across different project managers, to make it easier to really compare and contrast to see how certain projects are doing. And then you can see also the budget, cost to date, and the variance across different projects, especially if you've got a project that, for example, is modified over a number of times. Sometimes you go over, sometimes you go over under, but across the entire project, you're doing quite fine. Griot also lets you manage all of your employees, coming in here and listing listing their internal rates, their unlimited rates, how much percent billable they're meant to be, what kind of PTO they're allowed, available rates for this individual, and then a change log, so you can actually track when people go up and down in hours, and then also looking at their different activity. You can also review time cards, review submitted expenses, which can be also submitted through our mobile app, as well as through the website. You can look across all staff PTO and have set PTO settings. Our financials, your financial managers can look at the account management screen across all projects and be able to manage this and both invoices and projected billing from one screen without having to go into project by project. We also have look at projected utilization as well as actual utilization, so you as the business owner can get ideas about how much people are expected to be working versus what they're actually working. And then you can actually also see breakdowns of direct labor, fringe, overhead, and G&A. Very, very helpful if you're deciding how much time someone really should be working on billable work versus non-billable work. And you can also integrate with QuickBooks. You can organize by clients, and you can add specific rates and rate books for different clients. This is particularly helpful for GSA customers because the GSA has very strict rules about not allowing anyone else having lower rates than what you offer the government. So this is a nice way to organize all your rates to prove to the government that you've been offering them the best pricing. And then we have a very simple CRM that allows you to list different leads and opportunities if you wish. And you can actually create a report that allows you to show not just your active and at-risk projects, but also your opportunities and your completed projects, so you can get an idea across both historical and future information about where you are with your projects. For the administrator, many elements of Griot are manageable through this web interface. You can set different levels of access and permissions so that you can say, I don't want my employees to see my business development opportunities, or perhaps I don't want, there's a little mini consultants database, I do want my sales staff to be able to see those. You can set your email addresses, your expense information such as the mileage rate and the attachment minimum for expenses, as well as other rate settings. We also have help text so that you can come in and see very quickly information to help you through how to fill out your time card, etc. Thank you very much for this very brief overview of Griot, and we look forward to any of your questions. You can go to www.griot.us and contact us there, or info@griot.us for more information. Thank you very much.